With the Kumajo special Boku Dracula-kun translated and released with the new Castlevania Anniversary Collection under the name Kid Dracula, I figured it'd be good to make a brief video explaining the differences between the Famicom release and the Game Boy version. As while the games are similar, they also differ in a lot of ways. A Kumajo special Boku Dracula-kun, or Demon Castle Special I'm Kid Dracula as it's directly translated, was released by Konami for the Nintendo Famicom in Japan in October of 1990. It was linked to the main Castlevania series by way of the Akumajo titling, and meant to be a fun parody spin-off of the main Castlevania series, featuring the cutesy son of Count Dracula, only named in the game as Kid Dracula. The plot of the game is simple. Kid Dracula has awoken from a long sleep to discover that the ancient dinosaur Galamoth has challenged him for the title of Demon King, and Kid Dracula must defeat him in order to regain his title and throne, that he has taken to calling his own, despite it being that of his father, Count Dracula. The game featured classic Castlevania side-scrolling gameplay, but with a super deformed and frankly adorable twist to everything, from enemies to the levels themselves. The game was never ported to the NES, and thus this version of the game never made it to North American shores. Kid Dracula, released in Japan, also under the title Akumajo Special Boku Dracula-kun, is a sort of remix of the Famicom game, made for the Game Boy and released in both Japan and North America in 1993. Much of the same gameplay has been ported from the Famicom version to the Game Boy version, though it's been made to look like it's its own standalone adventure instead of a straight port. The North American title also sports no connection to the Castlevania series like its Japanese counterpart, only being named Kid Dracula, and wouldn't hint to its Castlevania roots until 1997's Symphony of the Night, which featured the optional boss also named Galamoth. That is, unless you had played Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse on the NES prior to this, and recognized certain subtle nods to Kid Dracula. This Game Boy version is treated in Japan like a sequel to the original Famicom version, similar to how the SNES's Dracula X is treated like a sequel to Rondo Blood, despite both games being closer to remakes in their actual makeup. Kid Dracula also had a few things tweaked to its visuals in order to get past North American censorship. So now you have a quick rundown of the differences between the two versions of Kid Dracula. There are other details that separate the two releases, but that can be a dissection for another video. For right now, this new Famicom localization can be seen as a bit of Castlevania history finally making it to Western audiences, and that's a beautiful thing for fans.